Well, hello there. Welcome once more to Quantua's Kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you. Today I'm sharing with you my simple recipe for flour chips, that is Ghana style chips. And this, is going to be very much needed for this holiday season. I know you will love this. So let's take a look at the ingredients you will need. You need some flour, and this is all-purpose flour. I also have here some blended onions. I'm just going to use a little bit of that, grated nutmeg, salt, sugar, some water, and butter. And yes, I could be an advocate for Kerrygo. That is my favorite butter of all times. So we start off by pouring our flour into a mixing bowl. This is a larger mixing bowl. And then I'm going to add all my other ingredients, starting off with the nutmeg, sugar. I added the salt as well, and then I'm mixing everything. And once I've mixed this up, I'm going to add in my butter. And the butter at this point is room temperature. So using a pastry blender, I'm going to try to mix this butter into my flour, just like I'm doing now. And this is an easy tool, very simple, inexpensive tool to use. But typically I would use my stand mixer to do this. Or you could pulse this in your food processor and you'll be good to go. Or just use your hand. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can make this with your hand if you don't have the tool or a machine. So you just grab some of the flour together with some of the butter and rub it between your palms just like that. You grab some, you rub, and you drop it, and you pick another one. And yeah, I'm trying to have fun in that kitchen, just as Nanaba wants me to. Yeah, having a good time. Cooking can be that fun, really. Yeah, especially when the recipe is on point. And this, I assure you, is on point. So now my butter is all mixed up in my flour. And as you can see, when I make a crumb, I grab some in my hand and squeeze it, it stays together. And that is good technique. And to save time, I washed my hands to get some onions into the mixture. And so at that point, I'm also getting my flour on fire, getting it heated up. So as soon as I'm done cutting up my chips, we're ready to fry. So now I just added a teaspoon of the blended onions to my mix. Now that the onion is well incorporated in here, I'm just going to make a well in my mixture just like this and gradually add my water. So I'm just grabbing from the middle, around the water, and I am getting the right texture now, for just the ones in the middle. You could mix everything. The measurement is accurate if you follow it to the T. So if I was using my mixer, I would just gradually add all the water and let everything mix perfectly. But using your hand, it can be a little bit hard. So I'm just mixing it up in portions. So doing the water little by little. And once I get the right texture formed, I put that on the side and I continue. So I've used up all my water at this point, and so I'm just going to make sure this is well mixed up. And that is it. Make 2 more balls out of this, and then we'll be ready to roll this out and cut it up. This is very simple, like really so easy. You'll be marveling at how easy it was to make this delicious chips. And trust me, you will love it. Everybody you give it to will love it too. Growing up, going to visit, friends, family friends during the holidays, and being served with a good plate of chips, cake, and groundnuts. And yes, I have all of them coming up for you. So this holiday, we're gonna have fun, okay? We're gonna enjoy. Yeah. So we're pretty much going to roll this dough out, and then I'm going to cut it up into strips. And that is how we did it growing up, cut it up into strips. And then, your mom will give you a platter of the strips. You sit down with your scissors and just be cutting it up. So I'm going to show you that technique, and then I will show you, a faster one as well. And then you can choose whatever works better for you. So now I just trimmed off the edges, so we have a beautiful rectangular dough spread out. Yeah, and I cut it out the best way I can. I tell you, I can't draw a straight line. So take this, okay? I think I did pretty good. And so now I am just using the scissors to cut my strips up, just like that, it just brings memories. Your mom would just give you this. You sit there on a stool with a tray on your lap, just cutting away, and you're super excited because you're going to have chips at home. Yeah. So this is nice, but to me, it takes forever to do. So I really don't have the time to do this. So I am going to roll this out now and show you yet another way you can cut this up. And hopefully that is more beneficial to you. And that works even better if you have like a pizza wheel, pizza cutter. So there we go. I'm just cutting with my knife in strips using on my right on my chopping board. And that is almost like noodles. So how you have the noodle machine to cut up your chips, normally, especially for like large scale chips making for parties and the rest, I'm just using my knife to try to achieve the same. So I've cut my strips now and then just flick it over and just look at that. You have your chips, okay, your noodles form. I think this is a little faster, easier, and I like the lengthy ones anyway. So that is another way you could do it, or you can use the machine, which is like a lifesaver if you're making a big batch or you just want to hurry up. So I'm rolling it through the roller first, and then I'm going to move it to the noodle side. So yeah, that and here we go. I'm just going to run it through here. And so easy, so fast. Yeah, voila. You have your chips, noodle form coming out, and you can have it as long as you want and just cut it out. To me, this is easier. And so if you are able to, if you think you'll be making these chips, you love the recipe enough, which I know you will, it's going to be so good. And you want to be the chip lady, the chip fairy for your family and friends, maybe you should get one of this. It's not so expensive and it really works so fast. So I'm just going to go ahead and literally make the rest of my chips this way. And we're going to go ahead and fry as we make it because our oil is hot now. So I'm just rolling this out now and then we'll go ahead and start frying them. Just look at how beautiful this is. Growing up, I would just stand there marveling at the noodles coming out. Like I would be so excited. I don't know if you ever made chips growing up. I hope you have memories of this too. Yeah. And here we are. So I'm just going to go ahead and start frying. My oil is hot. You can see I put one in there. I tested it. And of course, when you put one in or a little piece of your dough and it starts rising to the top, your oil is hot enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and drop everything that I've cut up here and let it fry. And this is going to take anywhere from, I would say, 6 to 10 minutes, depending on your heat, depending on the pot you're using. But you're just trying to make sure you get a golden color and you're frying the food. So, it's sitting in hot oil. And even when you bring it out, it's going to still be a little bit of cooking before it stops. So, until it cools down, it's still probably going to be frying a little bit. So just pay attention. I am trying to multitask, but I've done this so many times. I would recommend maybe that you cut everything up first before you start frying so you can have your eyes on this and not burn it. You wouldn't want to go to all that work and then lose it, especially when the kids are waiting, sitting there waiting for it to be ready to eat. So my chips are almost golden now. It's almost time to bring it out. And so I have a plate lined with paper towel ready. And you could also use a colander, like Sonia back home, straight into that. But I prefer to place them on the paper towel so it can blot some of the oil. And there, our first batch is done. It smells amazing. It tastes so good. This is not like crunchy. It's not too hard and it's definitely not too soft because as you can see, it didn't melt in the oil. When your chips is too rich, it will typically just melt in the oil. And this is not doing that, as you can see. So I hope you follow this recipe to the T. And if you do, trust me, you will get this perfect chips. This is like foolproof, no fail recipe. I really hope this makes you try it. So we're just going to go ahead and fry the ones that I cut with the scissors. And the oil is much hotter now. after frying the first batch. So this shouldn't take too long. And yes, continue to come in and stir every now and then so it cooks beautifully. But I say chips there and one in katio, like you really have to have this together with the peanuts. And I like the combination, the peanuts, the chips, and the cake together. Like I get a piece of each in my mouth and you just take a sip of your drink, hopefully some soda. Growing up, it would be some Vimto or something like that. Do you even remember Vimto? Like really? I loved it. Or your 7 Up. And that used to be my nickname growing up. I was so skinny. I was called 7 Up. Yes, so some 7 Up or Miranda or now your Fanta or Coke. And how enjoyable was that? So I hope you let your kids have that memory as well. You know, these days it means nothing to them, but it's just a tradition that we grew up having, you know, chips, peanuts, cakes at home. And it's just something to do, you know, build a tradition. You know, your mom did it for you. And I know most of us, like even I watched, but I didn't have the recipe. It took a lot of practice before I could start making my chips on my own after being away from Ghana. So I hope this helps you, you know. I hope it's helpful and you can perfect this so you can make some traditions with your little ones as well, because this is good and you can be gifting some of this to your friends. I love to make this for the holidays, package them and just go about, you know, knocking on my friends' doors and dropping it off or sending it in the mail. So I hope this is an idea for you and people just love the taste of home. It's just food, the gift of food. It doesn't amount to much, but it's always well appreciated because you used your time and your energy and you made this with a lot of love. This is good. The only problem is they'll be coming to you for more and more, asking you when you're next making chips, even when it's not the holidays. Yeah, they're gonna make you upset because this is insanely delicious. Trust me. You have to try this to really believe it. So we're done frying all our chips, believe it or not. It didn't take that much time at all. This is so easy. And look, my oil is clear. I just have to strain it because this is just for you guys. Trust me, I have a lot to make for my friends and I'll be using that same oil. And because it wasn't overly rich, it didn't the chips didn't soak it up. Just look at that. This is crunchy. Perfection. Like this is just amazing. This holiday, your place is gonna be the place to be, trust me. When your guests come and they are served all these goodies, homemade to perfection, tasting so good, they're just gonna love you. Your place is gonna be that place, trust me. I hope you give this a try. You will love it. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.